No nation can succeed that tolerates violence or the threat of violence as a method of political intimidation.
Knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees.
Those engaged in the political arena must stop treating political opponents as being morally defective. They've become, frankly, too dangerous to govern. They've gone wacko. No one should carelessly compare political opponents to historical villains.
I've been out hearing the left talking about all these things, fascism, Nazism on the right, and when you look at the actual history of how these things evolved, and when you actually look at that platform versus the platform of the modern left, you say, wait a minute, those two are really heavily aligned.
There is one way to settle our disagreements. It's called peacefully at the ballot box. Get out and vote. Now, if you're going to vote Democrat, don't bother.
A little back and forth there, punctuated by the president urging Americans not to vote. We highlight these things a lot. Donald Trump's ridiculous lies, his performance art, his utter lack of knowledge, his incitement of people's worst instincts. But today's different. This morning, America is different. Why? Because as Axios points out, pipe bombs sent to prominent Democrats were the worst terror by mail campaign of the post-9/11 era, and a wired manifestation of the nation's toxic politics. Why? Because as foreign policy analyst David Rothkopf says so clearly, the most extensive plot to kill senior U.S. government officials and prominent Americans in history took place. It targeted two former presidents, their families, cabinet officials, members of Congress, and the free press. The objective? Apparently, to snuff out the leading spokespeople for the views of the Democratic Party. It was an attack on reporters and on democracy itself. People will say you can't blame the president for something a twisted person would do. That is true. The president didn't pack those mail bombs. He didn't grind up the shards of glass intended to maim and kill. But he did something else. He undermined American values and dehumanized those who dare to question his conduct. He ginned up a type of feverish hysteria based on race and religion and political party, and it has the potential to lead to what we saw happen yesterday, and we don't even know if it's over. So before we dive into discussion and analysis, we want to set up exactly what went down yesterday.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.